Hello. It's Sunday, my favorite day of the week. And I'm going to Starbucks right now. Courtesy of Madeline, who sent me this wonderful gift card. Thank you so much, Madeline.
Hey there, thanks for choosing our Starbucks. What are we getting started for you?
Can I get a venti iced coffee with 2 equal, please?
Yeah, venti iced coffee with 2 equal, and so no regular sweetener?
No.
Okay. No cream or milk?
No.
All right. It's going to be $3.43. Come on around.
You guys, I know you hate the air conditioner, but I have to turn it on because it's so hot in here. So how are you guys doing today? It is race day in Indianapolis, which means nothing for me. My husband's at the race right now, and I went to the casino last night. Dollar bill, yo. I walked out with $400, which was a really good night for me. And Lori did not have such a good night. But it's always kind of like the casino's kind of like this. It's kind of like you win some, you lose some. It's like it kind of, I think, all evens out in the end, honestly. Anyway, yes, Madeline from Florida sent me this gift card with a very, very nice letter. So thank you so much, Madeline. And I was really excited about that because who doesn't love free coffee, you know? And then she said I have to give one to Alex too. So I'll roll through here probably tomorrow and get Alex. He drinks tea. Alex's drink is a Trenta Black iced tea, unsweetened, no water. So, and now I am getting ready to listen to the last 15 minutes of I'll Be Gone in the Dark before I go home and film my review because I wanted to film it fresh. And then I'm going to take a quick shower and go into the live stream for Peter's Book Club for I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which is in exactly 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's 1:40 right now. My nose is driving me crazy. And I slept till about 12. I went to bed super late last night. I listened to some of the audiobook, and then I came home and I sat on the front porch and like watched some Netflix while I was uploading the vlog from last night. And then I went to bed and I was asleep for like 2 hours, and then Alex had to get up at like 6. I thought he had to get up at like 6, but it was like 7:15, and I just kind of like suddenly woke up and I was like, are you not getting up for your thing today for the race? And he was like, I don't have to be there till like 7:15, and they live, 5 minutes away. And he was like, I took a shower last night. I was like, oh, okay. So, what is the line about today? This is about Frappuccinos of the world. People, yeah. How did I ever guess? Whenever the line is slow at Starbucks, it's always because people are getting like 3 Frappuccinos, which is basically just sugar. I don't love the Frappuccinos, I have to be real honest with you. Hell, yesterday I said I wasn't even going to get coffee anymore, and here I am rolling back through getting coffee. But it's kind of like, when you go to work and you're like, I'm not going to drink coffee anymore, and then you there you are with your coffee mug right at the coffee pot. That's how I used to always be. I actually used to make coffee before. I would either make coffee at home before I left for work. This is when I worked in treatment, and I would take one of those, like, those little plastic things in, or I would, like, stop somewhere. And this was before, like, Starbucks was big in Indiana. There just weren't any. So, I wonder if I have to. So I would just, that guy has been sitting up there forever, and he just, like, moved, and, like, they haven't even given him anything else. So anyway, so I would stop at, like, Speedway or some other gas station and get coffee. Some of them are weird about being on camera, so I have to trim this. Hold on a second. that sounds good. I love like matcha green tea. She was saying matcha green tea latte. I love matcha green tea smoothies. It's like my favorite kind of smoothie in the world. Are you guys like smoothie drinkers? I love smoothies.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Here's that for you.
Thank you.
Is it okay? There you go, my friend.
Can I get a straw?
Great day. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Nope.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Temptation.
It's like, it's funny that there was a line because there's like nobody here. There's nobody at Walmart when I drove by because everybody's like watching the race today. Well, all right, you guys, listen, I'm gonna get off here and listen to my audio book a little bit today. Okay, so I have this thing, I have to tell you, I have this thing underneath my camera that somebody sent me. It's fantastic. If you ever want a car vlog, it's fantastic. It's like this thing that you put here, and then like you can like put your phone or you can put your anything, but like I just stick my camera to it and it literally doesn't move. I mean, I know it bumps up and down a little bit like when I'm on bumpy roads, but because it's sticky, it's like started to melt a little bit, and now the bottom of my camera is sticky, like when I carry it places. Anyway, okay, you guys, I'll be back a little bit later. Okay, I'm back. I just finished I'll Be Gone in the Dark, and I'm leaving Half Price Books, where I just pulled in to get a copy of She's Come Undone, which is the next book by Wally Lamb that we're reading for the book club. And they didn't have a copy of it. They had every other book but that. So I'm gonna have to go after my live stream and go to Barnes & Noble and go to Half Price Books to see if I know I have a copy of it somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. I think I may have given it to somebody to read like years ago. I cannot believe it is oh my god, it's 94 degrees. 94 degrees on Memorial Day weekend. And I cannot believe my chapstick's not melted. I also got it on Audible, so I'll go back and forth. People ask me how I go back and forth. So like, you can go on Audible and you can look up the chapters and you can start it. Like, so like if you go into your audiobook, it'll tell you like, you can go right to a certain chapter. So like, if I end it like on chapter 6, I always make sure I end, like when I'm listening, I always end it like on a chapter. Like I don't stop listening unless I'm on a chapter. And then when I go into the house, I'll like grab the book, and if I'm on the front porch reading or in the living room or whatever, I'll go right to, you know, chapter 6. And then I'll pick it up down the road. So that's how I go back and forth. I'm like 10 minutes into the audiobook. I just started listening to it, and I have to say, I already like don't love the narrator. So if you're watching this and you're doing Peter's Book Club and you're trying to decide whether or not to get the audio version of She's Come Undone, I don't know. It's a fast read, even though it's long. So I think like the physical copy would probably be better, would be my recommendation. I just don't, I'm not loving listening to it already, and it's only 10 minutes in. It starts off very weird. It's like a weird audio version of it because it was filmed so long ago. It was produced in like 1997, it says at the beginning of it. And it's like this English guy. It's almost like, do you remember that, what was that show on PBS? That, oh, darn it, I can't remember what it was called. Masterpiece Theater, when they would like talk about like what it was going to be, and then they're like, and now she's come undone. That's exactly how it is at the beginning of it. I'm like, this is hilarious. So anyway, such a great day. It's beautiful outside. I was just like looking, I was Googling to see who won the Indianapolis 500 because it's 2:37. Usually ends about, I think, between 3 and 4 sometime. I was kind of trying to figure out like what time Alex is going to be home. he called me earlier. You can't get any reception at the Speedway on the day of the race, like none. And like I'm always like, you didn't text me, and he's like, there's no reception from inside the race, none. And so like he'll call and I can't hear him, and it'll just like go dead. So now I'm just like, well, I said to him last night, I said, don't even worry about calling me, just let me know that when you're on your way home. So but then once the race ends, it's like the traffic on the way home is like an hour and a half. So he probably won't be home till 5-ish. I can't remember what time he and his brother got home. Well, I think last year he went with his friend Kayla. The 2 years, or did he go with, no, he went with Fufu last year, the last 2 years. And they didn't get home too late, like between 4 and 5, I think. But he'll be so exhausted that I'm sure he'll just completely crash out. I'm watching 13 Reasons Why. I haven't really talked a whole lot about it. I'm watching the second season of 13 Reasons Why. I didn't really want to say anything about it until I'm done watching it, because I kind of want to make like, I'm not going to make a video about it. I don't know what I think, you know, like, as a TV show, okay, let's just strip the issues away for a second. I think as a TV show, I think the actors are incredible. I think for their age, they're really good actors. I also like the adult actors. I like the woman that plays Hannah's mom, and I think the parents are very realistic in the show. But I just think like a lot of the issues are, and people have already spoiled for me how it ends. So, I mean, I know how it ends. I just feel like, I don't know, like, a lot of times it's not like, can we? It's like, should we? Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. Like, why are we adding to this? This is an Amazon guy here. Hold on a second. He can't get into the gate. It's not Amazon. What is it? Something Express. I don't know what it is. Operated by... Maybe it is an Amazon guy. Oh, it is an Amazon guy. Oh, she's walking it in there. Oh my God. Poor thing. You know, I just feel like a lot of issues that we put in stuff today, it's like, sure, I think the discussion needs to happen, but how are we doing it? I will say this, okay, as something positive. I think the way that they're handling the issue of rape and the way that she's dealing with it, as far as like going to a group and how hard that is for her, and it is so realistic, and I think, and very well done, because I think it can give some hope to people that have gone through the same thing. But past that, I think a lot of the issues that are in it are just like, I don't know, it just is such a desperate TV show. I mean, and I don't mean desperate like it's trying too hard, I mean desperate like it's just sad, you know. It's like, it's just a sad reality. It's like of what's going on out there, and I don't feel like the show offers a lot of answers other than at the end of each episode it says, you know, if you're for crisis, call such and such number. It's very sad to me. I do feel like it's very realistic, at least from my experience. But I don't know that I feel like I think it's doing a lot of good. But you know, people ask me. The book and the movie are absolutely just like panned on BookTube. Like, people on BookTube don't watch it. In fact, if you like talk about it and say you're watching it, a lot of people kind of look down on you about that. The reason why I'm watching it is because I just kind of want to be able to have the discussion. I want people to know, like, when people are talking about it, I want to like have a point of view, if that makes sense. I don't want to just be able to like sit there as part of the conversation, go, oh, that TV show is problematic, having not watched it. So, you know, it's, I don't know. For me, I want to know what it's about. But at some point, I think like maybe we need to have some more shows that offer more hope. Is how I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm too idealistic. Okay, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna film my video of I'll Be Gone in the Dark, and then I'm gonna take a shower, and then I'm gonna do my live stream. And I'm so excited about the book club live stream. So I will be back a little bit later, guys. Bye. Okay, I'm back. I did my live stream. Alex is on his way home. He's stuck in traffic. He's been stuck in traffic for like 2 hours. He said he is dying for pizza. So I am on my way to the bookstore to get She's Come Undone. I'm trying the other half-price books. So I went into Papa John's Pizza and ordered pizza for us with breadsticks and all of our dipping sauces that we like. Which I haven't had pizza in forever, so I'm kind of craving. I told him, I said, I'm not really sure I want pizza. But then I was like, I'll just get the same thing I always get, so I might as well try something different. So, to try something different, like I've never had pizza before. So I got us pizza, and then we'll probably watch a TV show or something. And, although I don't think we have any TV shows. And then he'll probably take a shower and take a nap or go to bed for the night or something. I'm sure he's exhausted because he got up so damn early. Or maybe not, I don't know. And then I may do another live stream later that's not just about the book. The book live stream went so well. There are about 70 to 80 people in there, 60 to 80 people in there the whole time. Oh my God, Half Price Books is 20% off this whole weekend. And it was a really fun discussion. A lot of people came in there. So yeah, that's kind of my day. It's so relaxing today, and I don't have anything going on tomorrow. Alex doesn't have to work tomorrow, so it's really nice. We just gotta kind of get around, hang out. I think that's about it. I don't know what else to say about the world. So anyway, what should I say? I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to address. I'm gonna go in here and see what books I have. I have about 20 minutes. Oh, he just texted me. I have like 20 minutes until the pizza's ready. 15, she said, but he said, okay, okay, babe, about ready to walk up to the house. So, you guys are like getting like a full day of vlogging. Like, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going here, I'm going there. I would vlog in the bookstore, but that makes me nervous because the bookstore's kind of like the library. You have to be quiet. You can't be like really loud. Okay, I might do that someday. I might do it for a booktube video, actually, like a booktube vlog, like in the library or the bookstore or something. All right, you guys, I'll be back in a little while. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back in the car. It is so hot tonight. Woo. Oh, this is my easy listening channel. It was playing Bette Midler, From a Distance, and then it was playing Carole King, You're So Far Away. It says it's 77, but I swear to God, it feels like it's about 85, 90 outside. It was 94 earlier. I think I said that on my vlog. I stopped at the gas station, got a bottle of water while I vlog because I'm like burning up. I had to get gas too. So, I just did a live stream out on the front porch because Alex is asleep upstairs, and it is so hot. I mean, I literally was like really using my fan, like really fanning myself. And so anyway, I was kind of like thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna drive somewhere different tonight, but I don't know where I want to drive. If I drive on the interstate, this sounds crazy, but it's the truth. I like go through gas quicker. So if I drive on side roads like this, I save gas while I'm vlogging. So, I don't really know what to say. I got home with my pizza. Alex had just taken a shower, and because he said he was like a sweaty mess from the race. I didn't see him when he came in because I was at the bookstore and getting the pizza, and so then I came home and we ate pizza and we watched the end of Legally Blonde, like the last 40 minutes. I love that movie so much. And Alex, like, we have like this like desk slash TV tray. Do you guys remember TV trays? My grandma always had those metal TV trays back in the day. I loved them. But anyway, so he uses this TV tray to eat sometimes when we're watching TV. It's not really a TV tray. It's like his black desk. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, I got it at like Walmart years ago. But he pushed it like, you know, away so he could lay down and see the TV. And he was literally out in like a minute. He was like, I said, babe, just go upstairs and go to bed. I said, take the dogs upstairs with you. I will clean up the pizza and stuff. He was like, no, I'm okay right here. And then finally I started cleaning up stuff because the movie was over. And I said, go upstairs. I'm going to clean everything up. And then I'm going to go upstairs and take a nap with you. So I made a couple phone calls, and then I went upstairs and took a nap. I laid down. It was a little bit before 8, and I wanted to do a live stream after, and I wanted to either like get up tonight and I wanted to read or watch some like Netflix on the front porch or whatever, but I didn't want to like go to bed early because tomorrow's a holiday and Alex is off and we don't have anything to do, and I know that he'll probably sleep in and out throughout the day. So, because it's like his one day to rest throughout the week, and he's kind of old school, and on his day, he's not the person that on his day off likes to get like real productive. He likes to just sit around and watch movies. What kind of person are, like on my day off, like if I have more to do, I get more done, but like I don't really ever feel like I have even like what I would consider a whole day off. So, like whereas he works like a schedule, you know what I mean? So like on his day off, like I think people on your day off, you either like you're somebody that like does a lot. Like Tanya is always like on her day off. Well, she never really has a day off either because she always goes in the kennel. But like she cleans the house, you know, she like makes some big dinner. She like goes and runs errands. She like buys flowers for the patio, things like that. You know, she has like things she wants to get done. I think you're either that person, and I feel like half the people I know are that person, or you're the person that like just lays around and watches like Netflix for 10 straight hours. That would be my husband. And I don't hate him for it, you know. I might see if tomorrow he wants to watch Evil Genius back to back, because I really want to watch that. He'll probably say he has no interest, because right now he's going through this Marvel comic. I don't know, I might start watching Evil Genius tonight. I'm kind of getting bored with 13 Reasons Why, to be honest. I might start watching that Evil Genius tonight when I get home. We'll just see. I took the most fantastic nap, and the dogs woke me up because they wanted to go outside, so we did that. I forgot how much I love the movie Legally Blonde. Can we just talk about that for a second? I mean, I know a lot of people think it's a crap movie, but I don't know, I just love those feel-good movies like that. I'm such a sucker for those kind of stupid movies. They also are very reminiscent to me of like the late 80s, early 90s comedies like Romancing the Stone and I mean, they're funnier than that, but like Outrageous Fortune, Ruthless People, like those, you know what I mean? Like, they kind of remind me of those a little bit. Like, to some degree, like kind of innocent humor, if that makes sense. Like, I like that. But anyway, the air in here feels so good. I have it set on 60. It's actually 79 now, my temperature thing says. I had such a fantastic nap. I had the fan right on me, the dogs all around. They were so sweet tonight. PP has been coughing like crazy all day long today, and I think it's because of the heat. I think the heat and the humidity, he's having a really hard time breathing outside. And the thing is that because it's so nice, and he loves the sunshine. Like, PP loves nothing more than just to like, if like he's in the bathroom, because we have like the sunlight that comes in, and or the sunlight that comes in, the what do you call it, the skylight in our bathroom. He loves to like sit on a towel on the bathroom. I usually pull the bathroom towel, like a towel over, or the bath mat over, so that he can like lay on it and he can just like sun himself. He loves the feeling of the sun. It's like one of his most favorite things. And he'll just go in the bathroom and just stand there until you move something for him to lay down on, because he won't lay down on the cold linoleum. So when he goes outside, he loves to just like walk around forever. Like, I have to walk down and go pick him up and bring him in, or he won't come in. And like every time that I've taken him out, he's had a really, really hard time. Like he coughs immediately when he comes inside. Not like just like a cough, like he has the cough because of the heart thing. And so I told Alex, I said, I'm gonna call the vet on Tuesday when, it's not a holiday. But I said, I think that we're gonna have to really restrict him, which makes me sad, but like, he's only gonna be able to go outside for like less than 5 minutes, which they say that you're not supposed to keep a dog outside longer than 5 minutes in the heat anyway. So I don't know, that's my only guess, because up to like yesterday, PP was doing great. I mean, he was not coughing. He was maybe coughing 1 time a day. And I actually even gave him an extra half a Lasix today, like halfway through the day, because the vet said that we could do that if it was like really bad. And I mean, it wasn't horrible, but like, I mean, there's been some days in the past that have been really, really horrible, but it was bad enough that I was worried. But you could tell that he was like out of breath from the coughing. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to take him to the vet this week probably. I'll call her. Usually she talks me down and she's like, it's fine, it's the heat, she'll say something about it or whatever. The other thing is that Tanya told me that like this is really high allergy season for humans, but also for animals like dogs. And Tanya told me that a lot of dogs that have like upper respiratory issues or heart issues, if they have allergies, like it really like messes with them a lot. So it could be that, because if you look out over our backyard, it's like all of that white, like, that cotton stuff that flies in the air, it's all over our backyard. And PP is like, obviously, because he's so short, he's like level to it, because I know that like Tucker, when he comes inside, he must have really bad allergies. He doesn't even like to walk on the grass. He starts sneezing immediately when he comes inside. So, I don't know. This is the point where people always come up with all these different reasons why PP is coughing. PP is coughing because of his enlarged heart. He has a congenital heart defect, or disease. I don't know how it falls. He has heart disease. I was looking up what happened to the dog, Bruiser, I think is its name, from Legally Blonde today, whose name in real life was Mooney, which is so funny because my mom used to call me that when I was a little kid. Mooney died 2 years ago. He was 18 years old. Mooney, that played Bruiser in Legally Blonde. Do you guys sit there and watch movies and Google stuff? I constantly do. I constantly Google cast members, and I'm like, I think I know her from something. It was really funny because we were sitting there, and the girl that plays Chutney, the daughter that ends up being the one that murders her dad in Legally Blonde. The case that that Reese Witherspoon solves. Okay. He goes, do you know who that girl is? And I go, no, who is she? And he goes, she's the sister in Bloodline on Netflix. And I looked at her and I was like, oh my God, you're right. He's like, I was like, how did you know? He goes, I can just tell by looking at her. Is that so crazy? I meant to look it up. I didn't look it up, so it could be completely wrong. But if it's wrong, they are literally twins. I mean, it was except for the girl has curly hair in Legally Blonde, and in Bloodline she has straight hair. So, but I was like, how did you ever know that? Now it's freezing in here, and now it says 80 and it's freezing in here. It says 80 outside though. So it was a good day today. And it was interesting because I was talking to the guy at the gas station that I talk to every night when I go in there to get my bottle of water and my fountain pop, and he was like, yeah, nobody brought me a plate of food today. And I was like, nobody brought you any food? And he was like, no. And he was like, but they sent me pictures of what they're eating. And so he pulled out his phone and he showed me that they sent a picture of baked beans and chicken wings and stuff they were grilling out. And he was like, I can't believe they sent me a picture and they didn't even, we were sitting there talking. He's like, I said, what's your favorite? And he was like, baked beans. He's like, what's your favorite? And I said, I love sides, potato salad, macaroni salad, stuff like that. And he goes, but anyway, I left and I was like, what's interesting is Alex's family, I think because they're from Venezuela, we don't really celebrate the big, 4th of July, we usually go and see fireworks, all of us together as a family somewhere. But other than that, we don't do a barbecue, we don't do any of that kind of stuff. And Tanya and her husband Eric work 4th of July because they usually give the girls a day off that work there. So they go in and work this kennel by themselves, so they don't do anything on 4th of July. or they'll work all morning and then they'll go like, they have a boat, so they'll take the boat out for like an hour by just the two of themselves because they just want to relax together, and then they'll come back and work the kennel in the evening. Like, I never get invited to things. It's interesting, like I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today, and like a fellow YouTube friend, and he said something to me about like, I'm sure you guys have like 20 things that you're doing this weekend. And I said, and he knows me pretty well, so it was kind of funny. And I said, no, I said, Alex is at the race, and other than that, we have no plans whatsoever. And he was like, you guys don't like get invited to like barbecues and parties and stuff? And I said, no, we don't. Like nothing. And we don't get invited to anything. And I mean, Alex, you know, sometimes with coworkers and things like that, but I don't work with anybody, you know? So like, I wouldn't have a coworker, and our families don't really do anything. Like my dad and my stepmom just always kind of just do stuff together by themselves, and Alex's family, like they'll do a barbecue like once every 2 or 3, 4 weeks, you know, but other than that, and my brother-in-law Carlos, which is now his house is going to be the place that's going to have to host it because it's the biggest for all of it. He coaches baseball on Sundays. Like that's like one of his jobs. And so, are the deer out tonight? So he can't ever do anything on Sundays until like 7 o'clock in the evening. And so at that point, it's kind of like barbecue day is over, you know, and people are going back to work the next day. So we don't ever typically, he had to play out of state today to play in Michigan. So he took Alex's mom and the kids and their grandma to Michigan, and Liliana, my sister-in-law, she worked at the race today. But anyway, she did like catering or something. We just, like, I don't like have a lot to do. Like, you know, honestly, like I get lonely a lot, you know, like, and not because of Alex, because Alex and I do so much stuff, but like very rarely do we ever like, I can't really, you know, honestly, other than like Melissa and Jason or Aaron and Eric, I can't think of the last time that we've like gotten together with somebody for like a family dinner, or like we had to bring like a side dish, or I mean, we don't get invited to that kind of stuff, you know? And I think it's just kind of, I don't know, and like Alex works all week long, and so I'm basically like by myself unless I see Tanya or I go to a meeting, or, you know, I'm talking to somebody on the phone that lives across country. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a little bit of a lonely life, and I think like the reality is, I think there's a lot of people that kind of live that life with me and like are very lonely and just kind of I mean, I look at my phone sometimes and I'm thinking like, if, you know, like Alex, or if I don't talk to like Alex, or like, you know, I have like 2 YouTube friends, or Tanya, like my phone doesn't ring all day long. Like no texts, no phone calls, like all day long. Like, I mean, honest to God, like it can go like 12 hours without a phone call or a text. Honest to God, like it's just the weirdest thing, you know? And I'm kind of at the point now where like, I don't know if you watched my vlogs back in the day, like it kind of bothered me. Like I went through a period where I was really, really lonely, and I don't really care as much anymore. I mean, it'd be nice to be invited to stuff, you know, but it doesn't bother me like it used to bother me. I don't know what's changed. I think I'm also a bit of a, oh my God, a little kitty is on the side of the road. I think I'm also so, you know, and I don't think that that piece, honestly, has anything to do with my being socially awkward or any of that kind of stuff. I just like to be by myself sometimes, you know, or just with Alex. Like, I like to just have the TV on in the background and throw in a movie and light some candles and, you know, candle waxes or whatever. And, you know, like, have the screen door open. I like that, you know, read a book. Like, I enjoy that, you know? And it's interesting because I think, like, there have been a lot of periods of my life where, I mean, I've been, I mean, for the, you know, last 10 years, I've been self-employed. And when I was growing up, you know, I was an only child. So there was so much time that was spent alone outside of my family. And, I think I've just kind of gotten to the point where I enjoy that. Like, I'm used to it to some degree, you know? I don't know. I almost kind of think at this point, like, if I was, you know, because I can remember, like, let's say from like 18 to when I got sober, or really like 6 months before I got sober, because 6 months before I got sober, like, I started getting kind of very reclusive. Like, my life was going down, and it was going down fast, and that's when I started using cocaine a lot, and it was just a mess. And at that point, my life was really like 100% about using drugs and alcohol. Before that, it was really, I'd say, you know, 60% about the fun and the party and 40% about the drugs and the alcohol. But like, even though they overlapped, I don't know if that makes sense what I'm trying to say, but like, the last 6 months were all just about maintenance of use. And, you know, but from like 18 to like 22, like, I can remember, like, my days were spent, like, I had this phone in my kitchen, like one of those, do you remember those phones that were like that, like long? And, you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I would sit on this stool in my kitchen, like, you know, the kitchen bar. I had like these 2 stools that sat there, and I would sit there in my apartment, and I would be like, I would just call one person after another, you know, and that was what my day was spent doing, was calling friends. What are we doing tonight? Oh my God, did you hear about so-and-so? Like, oh, that, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And, you know, like, that's what my life was about. Like, planning the night, talking about the night before, talking about the weekend before, talking about the next pageant we were going to, or what we were going to do this weekend, or what we were going to wear. It was so superficial. It was just, there was no depth to it whatsoever, but I had a lot of friends. I had quantity friends, but it wasn't about quality friends. I had a few really good friends. My friend Jim, my friend Michael. I mean, I had some really good friends at that time, you know, but like, my friend Krissa was obviously one of my very good friends, but I just, you know, like, there was no depth to it whatsoever. And I don't know, it's just sad, you know, like, I look at the two, like, kind of variants. It's like, either you have a lot, like, this is how it's been in my life. I can only speak from my experience. Either I had a lot of friends, but I didn't have, like deep relationships with them, or I had a few friends that I had very deep relationships with. And I think today, I would prefer to have, I can't believe I just passed that gas station. I just went and bought gas. It was $2.99 at that gas station. It's like $2.93, and I could have got a discount as well. 7 cents or 6 cents or something. But anyway, you know, I think today I would really prefer to have fewer friends, even just one friend, that are more meaningful. Do you know what I mean? It was interesting because, okay, my camera shut off. I had to let it cool down for a little bit. I rolled down the windows and let my hair blow out the breeze. I was listening to my favorite murder podcast because all these people had told me today, is it a full moon? It's almost a full moon. It's not a full moon. All these people told me to listen to my favorite murder podcast about the Golden State Killer, of which there's like 4 of them. And so the one I'm listening to is the one where the guy, the pool guy, not the pool guy, like he works at a pool, but that's his last name. He's like one of the investigators. He like calls in. I'm like 5 minutes into it. It's like an hour and a half. And I need to charge my phone for a little bit. So anyway, it's been actually like a half an hour since I was filming last. But I was like trying to keep in my head like where I was. I was like, what was I talking about? So anyway, I was talking about like my friends, and like in my life, you know, I've had like either superficial friends or I've had very close friends. But if I've had superficial friends, I've had like a lot of them, which I think it's okay to have like, you know, acquaintance friends. But I mean, you know, those are fun too. But like for me, it's like the deeper relationships that I have mean more. And I think one of the things that was interesting was that when I did a video about, it was either about Tanya or is it about like having a friend. I did it on my Peterisms channel, and it was so interesting to me because so many people messaged me or commented and said that like they didn't have any friends at all, and how blessed I should feel that I have, you know, a friend like Tanya. And if you're new to my vlog and you don't know the story, I did a whole video about how I met Tanya on my Peterisms channel, but you know, like it's such a crazy, I just talked about her the other day. I get so emotional talking about it, you know, because it's like, I can remember when I got sober, like Tanya would not be in my life if I wasn't sober. I mean, the reason that we are friends is because of our sobriety. And one of the things that's been really, really hard for us is that like we've had several friends in the last 2 years that have gone back out after having long-term sobriety. And it's like, you try to stay friends for a while because it's like, you know their families and you know the kids, but like, I'll tell you what's crazy is even having 10, 20, 30 years of sobriety, when they go back out, how quickly their lives go back to exactly where it was almost before they got sober. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. It's like, it goes back to like what it was before. And it's hard because, you know, like Tanya and I were talking about the other night when we were doing the vlog, or the other day, it's like, we speak the language of recovery. We know each other through recovery. And it's like, I would never turn my back on one of my friends that I had through sobriety just because they go back out. Like, they're not gonna make me want to start using again, you know, like, they don't have that much power in my life today. And it makes me sad, and, you know, I pray for them and I worry about them, but it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, I just don't know them anymore, you know? And so it's hard. And, you know, I think, like, a lot of people would think it's like, oh, well, like, you don't want anything to do with them because they're using now. And it's not that at all. It's almost kind of like they leave us. Like, they stop calling us. They stop wanting to do things with us. It's like, I can't tell you how many people Tanya and I have talked about where it's just like, do we not mean anything to them? Do we not matter? You know? But at the same time, I know what active addiction is about, you know? And it's like, when you're in the middle of active addiction, you're not really thinking about other people. You're not really thinking about who you're hurting and things like that. I just got the weirdest craving for a cream soda. I don't know why. So anyway, I don't know. It's weird, you know? It's like, I don't know how to explain this whole like idea of this language of recovery. It's not like we sit there and just talk sobriety all the time. I mean, that's not it at all. It's that there's a thread of it that comes out. Like, even Alex, you know, being married to me, like, he very much speaks a language of recovery, even though he drinks, because, like, you know, when we have discussions about, like, you know, something that's happened, if we're upset about something that's gone down or whatever, you know, like, he'll say, like, well, I need to take responsibility for my part. Like, he very much speaks the language of recovery, but, like, past that, what I mean is that the commonality, the common thread of our friendships is sobriety. Like, I mean, I've often thought to myself, if Tanya tomorrow started drinking and you know, every time I stopped by her house, you know, instead of getting a fountain pop, she was sitting out in the back patio having a beer, like, what would I do? Like, it would be weird to me, you know? It would be like, I don't know her like this. And, it's hard, you know, I think. And, but so many people after that one video that I did contacted me and were like, I don't even have any friends. Like, I don't have anybody. And I thought, God, Peter, you feel so blessed for the people that you have in your life, you know? And I really, really do. Like, even just And I think that's where I feel so blessed to have one quality friend, you know? And I always say this in my videos, and I think a lot of times people don't maybe understand what because I've had people ask me what I mean by this. You know, I say a real friend is somebody that will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And Tanya is that friend for me, you know? And it's like, she doesn't always tell me what she thinks, you know, about serious situations, but she saves it sometimes, like when she thinks it's something that's gonna like hurt my nose is so itchy me right now, you guys. The allergies are so bad this year. But like when she thinks it's something that's gonna hurt my feelings or whatever, she doesn't like rush right out and be like, well, let me tell you something. You know, she's not like that. But like if I ask her like what I think, she'll tell me, you know. And like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times like in the past, you know, like when Alex and I used to argue a lot, like at the beginning of our relationship, you know, I would go over to her house. I'm sure, like, if you're married or in a relationship and you've got girlfriends, you'll know what I'm talking about. You just want to go over there and you just want to vent, right? And then you want your friend to say to you, God, what an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just want to hear that and then you're okay. I can't tell you how many times that she would say to me, I can understand why Alex would be upset about that, Peter. You know? And why that's important to me is because the times then that she would say to me, I understand why you're upset by this, meant a lot, because I knew that she wasn't just telling me what I wanted to hear. Because in the times that I was being selfish or I wasn't thinking through about how I was affecting somebody else, you know what I mean? Like, so I think like that's for me. I mean, she's loyal, you know, to a fault. But she ought, what is that back there? It's like some weird light in the middle of the road. She's loyal to a fault, but then she loves me enough to tell me what she thinks, and I love her enough to tell her what I think, you know? And it's weird because, like, I have to say that we've gone through stages in our friendship where, like, there have been times where, like, we used to kind of, like, really edit out how we said things. Like, we would really, like, you know, water it down. And now we're just pretty kind of forthright, you know? Like, I'll say, like, well, this is what I think, you know? Like, if she gets into a fight with Eric, I'll be like, well, I mean, I understand, Tanya, why he's, like, upset. Like, that would kind of hurt my feelings, too, you know? Or vice versa. A lot of couples therapy between Tanya and I occurs in this car. Needless to say. And I'm thankful that I have, you know, like my best friend loves my husband and vice versa. I can't remember when this happened. It was like 4 years ago. This was really when I saw like how truly blessed I feel to have Tanya and Alex in my life and that they get along so well. It was, how long ago was this? God, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. I was supposed to have coffee with a friend of mine, a sober friend, and I was supposed to have coffee at like 11. But our electricity, like, went out. And so, but I didn't set my, like, phone alarm. And I slept through. Like, I really slept through. Like, I was supposed to, maybe it was supposed to be, like, at 10. It was, like, at 10 or 11 in the morning. And I ended up sleeping till, like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And, like, just slept through everything. And I woke up, and there were, like, Tanya was at my door. There was like, I had like 20 messages from Tanya, 20 messages from Alex. They were so worried about me. They thought I had like an epileptic seizure. They were so concerned about me. And my friend called Tanya and said, Peter never showed up. This isn't like him. I never not show up. I'm so weird about that. Like, if I'm going to be a minute late, I text somebody and I'm like, hey, I'm running a minute late. I'll be there in just a second. And so my friend was like, Peter didn't show up. I'm really worried. Like, this isn't like him. I can't get a hold of him. So Tanya was like texting me. She couldn't get a hold of me. Like, she let a half an hour go by. She got, well, maybe it's nothing. So she called Alex, and Alex is at work, and he's in the middle of a conference, okay? So he cannot leave. And he was like, so then Alex is calling me. So, like, then Tanya and Alex are so concerned, and they're, like, working together, and Tanya's like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna go over there, and, like, Alex is on his way home. They were not happy with me, let me just tell you, okay, that I slept through. But, I mean, they were happy that I was, like, you know, safe, but, just to see the communication of how much they love me together, you know, that they were so concerned about me that day, it was like, I don't know, it meant a lot to me, you know? In 21 and a half years, Tanya and I have had one fight. That was it. And it was in Lake Norris, Tennessee, when we were on a vacation. A bunch of recovery people. I think, like, it's kind of like that thing, like, you know, when you're a kid and your mom's like, okay, you guys have spent too much time together. Johnny's gonna go over to his mom's house or stay at his house tonight, and you guys can play again tomorrow or whatever. You know what I mean? We had spent the whole week together, and, like, we had cleaned up the whole house. Everything was cleaned, and we were, like, all waiting on the back patio just to leave. And Tanya came outside and, like, lit a cigarette, and I go, what are you doing? I go, why are you smoking a cigarette? I said, I thought we were leaving. And I don't know what she was upset about. To this day, I don't know what she was upset about. We laugh about it now, but she looked at me and she goes, what did you say to me? And I go, I thought we were leaving. Like, you're smoking a cigarette? I said it to her like that. And she goes, she pointed her cigarette at, okay, and we had, like, the whole week, like, this was a really nice cabin that we rented on the lake, right? The whole week, like, and let me just tell you, at this point, it was like all of the recovery people smoked. And so we had, like, an area on the back patio where everybody would smoke. And, like, so cigarettes, let me just, in case anybody's questioning that. So we all, like, would go out there, and that was, like, the only place, because there was, like, a lot of people that didn't smoke, like Alex and Eric, Tanya's husband, and, like, other people's partners that came, like, they didn't smoke. So Tanya had a cigarette, and it was lit, and she looked at me, and she, like, tears in her eyes, and she goes, not you, anybody but you. Well, part of what had happened was everybody was getting on Tanya's ass and being like, well, we need to do this, and we need to clean this, and we need to clean that. And she felt like she all of a sudden became, like, cruise director of, like, cleaning this house right before we left. I was not aware of this because I just didn't even, I didn't know that it was going on. And so she goes, not you. Anybody but you, not my best friend. And she took the cigarette and she walked straight through the house out the front door. And Alex was standing there, and I go, what did I do? What did I say? And I go, I'll go talk to her. And Alex stopped me. He goes, let me go talk to her. And so Alex went out front. Now, we're in Lake Norris. It's a 6-hour drive, okay, from Indianapolis. We've all driven different cars. And so our cars are already loaded up and ready to go. This is so silly. I don't even know, like, what it was about. I think just tensions were high by the end of the week or something. And so, this would have been, I'm trying to think of who was still together that trip. That's how I'm, like, doing the timeline in my head. So this would have been Alex and I's, like, 2nd year together. So this would have been 8 years ago. And so at the time, Tanya and I had been friends for, 15 years, something like that. So anyway, I don't know, do the math. I don't have my glasses on, I can't do math. But anyway, so Alex goes and talks to her, and he literally comes back, like, a minute later, and he goes, okay, so I think we should just go. He goes, we'll just go, and we'll go ahead of them. And I go, what's she mad about? He goes, I just think it would be better if we just went. And I was like, okay. So I, like, said goodbye to everybody. It was real awkward, and we, like, drove off, and I'm, like, the whole way home, I'm, like, bawling my eyes out. I'm like, she's never gonna talk to me again, and she's my best friend, and what am I gonna do without Tanya, and blah, 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 and whatever. And Alex, like, settled my ass down. He's like, you need to just settle down. It's not that deep. It's gonna be fine. Like, what did she say to you? What did she say to you? And he's like, she told me, Alex, I love you. Get him out of here. I don't want to see him right now. I'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's gonna be okay. He'll take care of himself, but right now I can't see him. So we drive the 6 hours, and of course they leave like a half an hour behind us, right? So they're literally like a half an hour behind us on this road trip. I got home and I was so upset. I was like, I can't believe like I lost the greatest friend I ever had in my entire life. Like, what am I gonna do without her, you know? And I get home and I like, I went and I like sat on the front porch and like she called me and I was like, hello? And she was crying too. I was like, I don't want you to be mad at me. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what I did. And she's like, I don't want to be mad at you either. And I love you. And I'm so sorry. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what happened? Why did you get upset with me? She's like, I don't even know. I'm really sorry. We're like both crying and stuff. That's the one fight in 21 years that we've gotten into. That's it, you know? But like the other thing is that we really have good boundaries when it comes to like the other person being like, I can sense now like Tanya's in a mood, don't go there, and I think she can with me too. But like I think one thing that people would find really hard to believe about me is that I'm really easygoing. Like I just don't ever, it's really hard to say anything to me that really pisses me off that bad, honestly. Like it really like, I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself and I'm like, I can't really think of anything that pisses me off. God, have I been talking for 17 minutes already? I can't really think of anything that pisses me off that bad that I would be like, oh yeah, like, you know, I would never talk to this person again. Like it takes a lot for me, you know what I mean? It's not issues, no religion or politics, nothing like that really pisses me off that bad that I wouldn't want to be somebody's friend again, you know? Like I can't even think of anything. I'm like sitting here and I'm like trying to think. I just really can't think, you know? If you're my age or older, do you think you get more mellow with age? Like, you know, they say that. Like, I really do kind of believe that. I mean, man, I like, when I was younger, like, stuff really got to me, you know? Stuff doesn't get to me as much anymore. I think partly because I appreciate the fact that I saw this bumper sticker or something yesterday and it said, when people say they want to talk to you about religion, it means they don't really want to hear your opinion. I thought that was interesting. But, you know, like one of the things I realized today about like, when people want to talk to you about spirituality or, you know, issues of the world that are going on or political issues, like one of the reasons why I don't like, I try not to allow it to affect my friendships, unless people are like real assholes about it. And then it's like, it's not so much what we're talking about, it's the fact that they're just assholes, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just about that, you know? And, or if they make just really ignorant statements to me. But I think that what I realize, or what I realize now that I didn't realize when I was younger was, you know, if I want people to respect my opinion about things or my stance, and what I mean by respecting that is listening to it and taking it in. That doesn't necessarily mean agreeing with it. It means being open to the dialogue. And I think that one of the things that I have seen really change a lot in the last 30 years since I've been in high school, you know, is that we don't have dialogues anymore. We have people that have opinions, and if you don't agree with their opinion, fuck you. We really live in that society today. We don't have discussions anymore. Alex was just asking me today, this is so random off the subject, but we were talking about the Halo Beauty, and I said, this was last night at dinner actually, and I said, can you tell any difference from the Halo Beauty? And he was like, yes, I can totally tell. He was like, the acne on my face is going away. He was like, my nails are stronger and they're whiter, like T, with a T. I go, really? He's like, yeah, I totally noticed it. I was like, that is crazy. I said, okay. I said, I'm gonna, you know, like, I'd ordered some more and it's on its way. And he was like, I said, are you gonna take the other bottle? He's like, yeah, I'll take it. I go, he goes, how much is that stuff? I go, it's $40. He goes, $40 a bottle? I go, yeah, but whatever. So, I mean, if you think it's working so well for you, I don't really know that I notice a whole lot of difference, honestly. But I'm like sitting here as I'm looking at my nails. I'm like, my nails have looked really good this, like the last 2 months. Like, and you'd think they would grow more, but they, like, this is one of the things he said he notices, that they grow stronger. Like, they do feel stronger to me. But anyway, I think we don't have discussions anymore. We have opinions, and if you don't agree with somebody's opinion, screw you. And it's sad to me. Like, we used to have discussions about things. We used to respect people's opinions, And I don't know, it's just so sad to me today that we can't go there and, like, have why can't we have discussions anymore? And one of the things that I've realized over time is this, is that I have my stance about what I feel, right or wrong or indifferent, okay? Because of my personal experience, because of my human experience of who I am as a person and what I bring in that. And typically what that I bring into that is a socioeconomic background, my parents, being a child of a divorce, being gay is always usually a huge part of that. Being a person in recovery is usually huge. My spiritual beliefs, my education, my work history, things like that. Those are like the big things of my personal experience I bring into that. Well, when you think about that, anybody else is bringing in their bag of history too, okay? They're bringing in their family history and their education and their encounters with people that are gay or not gay, or if they've had people in their life that are, or how they've dealt with that, or how it has been presented to them growing up, So for me, I've really learned over time that A, it's not my job to change somebody's opinion, okay? And B, it is my job to remain teachable and be open to the conversation, because a lot of times I learn things if I stay open that I never really thought I might ever be able to wrap my head around or believe at one point, if that makes sense. And so when I stay open to that, I learn a lot about myself. I learn a lot about the world. A lot of people have pointed out things to me, and I think to myself, God, I never thought of it that way. Like, oh, I totally see where you're coming from. And, it would be a much more pleasant world if we could all do that. If we could just say, hey, listen, you know what? Like, I realize that you come from a completely different background than I do, and that your human experience is completely different than mine is. And I respect that. And I respect where you come from. And let me hear your side, and then I'll tell you my side, and let's have a conversation about it. And I'll tell you, one of the things that's really cool is that, God, my nose. It really sucks, you guys, because there's not really any good over-the-counter allergy medicine. And I know as soon as I say this, I'm going to get 15 comments below, and you guys are going to recommend something to me. Thank you. I don't take an antihistamine. It makes me feel weird. I won't take it. So there's not really any good allergy medicine that's over-the-counter that has nothing like that. I used to take these tablets. I can't remember what they're called. I have a friend of mine that's also in sobriety, and he takes them. They don't have anything in them, no antihistamine or anything, but you put them on your tongue and they dissolve. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They come in like citrus and then like in mint, and you can get them at any place. Walmart, I need to get some because, man, my allergies are driving me crazy. Anyway, for anybody out there that doesn't agree with me on what I'm saying, let me give you an example. After having talked for half an hour about my best friend Tanya was raised Pentecostal. Okay, she's not today, but she still has some of her, faith-based feelings inside of her. She comes from a very conservative background politically, and to some degree has some political conservative beliefs herself. Some not so political, or not so conservative. She's kind of a fence rider when it comes to issues and things like that. I shouldn't even say anything about politics, because Tanya would be like, don't even talk to me about that. She's like, because about all of the other stuff. She's like, I don't even get involved in all that. But we have been able to so educate each other through the years. I mean, I cannot tell you how many conversations we've had, and Tanya will say something to me like, I understand that you feel that way, but now let me tell you, like, why I see it differently. Or I'll say to Tanya, like, hey, I get that you see it that way, but, like, this is what I think, And I think for two people that come from very different sides to come together and be best friends and never once, not once in 22 years, 21 and a half years, ever have had an argument or even like a disagreement about any issue that exists in the world, okay? From anything from vegetarianism to, marriage equality, whatever. We've never once had a difference of opinion. We've had lots of differences of opinion. We've never once had a disagreement about it. And we'll have lots of conversations, and we do it with respect. And she'll say, oh my God, like, I totally see what you're saying. We've had so many moments where we've kind of like educated each other. And I love that. And I think that is where I wish we could get in this world, And it's not just, about politics and religion. It's about experiences. It's about teach me who you are. Let me know your story. We have this whole isolated idea of what the world looks like if you come from the United States. We really do. And if you can't admit that, then there's some ignorance, I think, that we have to like work through, because we see a very small part of the world coming from the United States. We really see through a filter of television and movies and pop culture. We really, really do, unless we're very worldly, very traveled, very educated academically on really, PBS and, National Public Radio. We're really listening to what's going on around the world. People are surprised a lot when I talk about Venezuela. Well, that's because the news outlets in the United States don't allow the news stories about Venezuela to come here. There's a civil war going on in Venezuela right now, and the majority of the people in the United States have no clue about that whatsoever. But yet people in other countries absolutely know that it's going on. So we have a very filtered view of what's going on in the world. But what if we started sharing those stories with us? And I think that YouTube, instead of this foolishness of pranks and what can I do to get 1 million views and what can I do to be famous so that, and I joke about that on my, channel, I'm YouTube famous, but what can I do to, cause a scene and blah, blah, blah. And this is why I try to change my stories a lot on my main channel into being like teachable moments, because it's like, why can't we all share our stories with each other? Why can't we all educate one another on, hey, I appreciate where you're coming from, but maybe my stance is different. Maybe where I come from, I see it a different way. And I feel so blessed, I know people from, Australia that watch my videos, Annie, and I know people from Florida that watch my videos, like Penny and a bunch of other people, and I know people from Denmark, and I know people, there was somebody that came into my live stream during my book thing today from Iran, and there are people from all over the world, Canada and Venezuela even, and so many people from around the world that watch my videos, that for me to think that I'm just one piece of that, I cannot believe at the very end, I'm like, I think it's almost out. I'm at 29 minutes and 35 seconds. Let me stop this and come right back so I can finish this up. Okay, I literally turned it off and started it right up again. But I think if there's one thing that I think I want people to take from my videos, is that, and I say this a lot, but we all have a story. Every single one of us has a story. And every single one of our stories is important. Don't ever think that your story is not important. I don't care what your story is. It is important. Your story is your life. My story some days is not this epic tale of recovery and sobriety and being gay and coming out and talking about the pain that I've gone through with bullying and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes my story is just about laughter that occurs in this car with my best friend when we're telling something that's so funny about a dog that happens to be at Tanya's kennel, that we get laughing so hard we just can't stop laughing. Sometimes that's my story. Sometimes my story is that I miss my mom and what it's like to go through losing a parent. Sometimes my story is about me being an addict and an alcoholic. Sometimes my story is about me being a reader and how much books have changed my life. But sometimes my story is just about the fact that I just really like to read a damn good book, you know? It's just not that deep. Sometimes my story is about the fact that stargazer lilies are my favorite flower and that I love a really strong cup of coffee, you know? It doesn't have to be deep. We all have a story. And it's an interconnectedness that I think we all share. It's always interesting to me on my vlogs, the little pieces that, you know, people pick up on. You know, I can say something really, really small in a vlog. I can say a really profound statement and nobody will comment on it because I'm so profound. But I can say something very, very small. Like, for example, I can say something like, Morningstar chicken nuggets are my favorite vegetarian chicken nuggets, and 10 people will leave a comment recommending different kinds. Oh, well, did you know they had corn dogs? Or Annie's has a vegetarian chicken pot pie, which thank you for letting me know because I didn't know that. And you know, all of a sudden, it's people that are eating vegetarian meals sharing their stories. It's simple. And it's an interconnectedness of all of us through the human spirit, you know? And I love that so much because I want to learn about other people's stories. I want to hear other people's stories. I want to learn, you know, and one of my happiest moments ever was going into this guy's video that somebody sent me about a year ago, and he had made a YouTube channel just because he heard me say in a video, everybody has a story, you know? And I didn't come up with that, let me just tell you. That is not my saying, I don't think, you know? I'm gonna throw it on a t-shirt. Maybe I will throw that on a t-shirt. Front, everyone has a story. On the back, what's your story? But it's the truth, you know? And if you leave with anything from tonight's vlog, you know, what I'd like you to think about, or morning, or whenever you're listening to this, you know, what's your story? What makes you? What are those different, you know, issues in your bag of history? What are the things that define you? We always talk about, this doesn't define me. Well, I'm not necessarily sure I agree with that. You know, some of these things in my life do define who I am. If I wasn't gay, my life would look very different. So to some degree, that's not true. It does define me. The fact that I'm married to somebody that's Latino does define me to some degree. You know, the fact that I'm an addict and an alcoholic defines me. The fact that I'm an addict and an alcoholic in recovery defines me differently than if I was just an addict and an alcoholic. The fact that I'm an addict and an alcoholic and not just an alcoholic defines me. So all of those differences that make us up who we are, you know? Oh my God, it just stopped. This vlog is trying my will tonight. It just shut off. Okay, I'm gonna end this up, but I think, you know, what I would really like you to think about tonight, just because it's really helped me in my life, is what are those things that do define you? What are those things that make you who you are? What are those things that pull inside of you that make you feel stronger about some stories than others, you know? And which parts of your story are you willing to share with others? Because those are the things, you know, that I think can help us change the world if we share our stories and open up a discussion. And I wish we could do that more. I really do, you know. I don't know why we're afraid of that. I don't know why we're afraid of having a discussion anymore. But maybe we can change that. Maybe over here we can change that and we can start having a discussion. And little by little, one person here, one person there will write a blog, start a video, a YouTube channel. Somebody will write a book. Somebody will, you know, make a piece of art or take a picture and throw it on Instagram, and slowly we can tell our stories. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.